I'm Kenner Dijker. Let's see the highlights of MX Live.
The Honda Grand Prix of Brazil got underway with the MX2 riders, and up the inside it was the KTMs of Jeffrey Herlings and Ken Roczen. There was a big crash going up the start straight that almost took out Tommy Searle. Instead it was Ivo Monticelli, the Honda rider from Italy. With the KTMs heading the way up front, it was left to the likes of Tommy Searle to fight his way from a poor start to try and salvage some points. The injured Zach Osborne came under pressure from Gauthier Paulin as well. That was for third position. So Osborne dropped back into fourth place, and then Tommy Searle found a way through on Arnold Tonus before he found a way back up to the rear end of the Yamaha of Zach Osborne. Eventually Tommy Searle would come home in fourth position, but Ken Roczen though was in a world of his own and was riding silky smooth just as he had been the previous week in the USA. This was when Tommy Searle found a way past Zach Osborne. That was to move him into fourth place, but it was a win for Roczen. Final MX2 race, and once at the end the KTMs got off to a flying start up the inside. Tommy Searle had to go around the outside on his Kawasaki, but it was Roczen and Herlings just like it was in Moto number 1. Arnold Tonus, well, he found a way up into 7th position when he passed the local Brazilian Hector de Ferreira. But Roczen, well, he was making one or two mistakes. Paulin had found his way into 3rd place, and then before we knew it, Roczen disappeared off the leaderboard. His teammate overtook the lead after Roczen crashed, and then another mistake later in the race meant that Jeffrey Herlings would win by a comfortable 6 or 7 seconds by the end of the race. Tommy Searle once again had to fight through traffic. He eventually found his way back into 4th behind Gauthier Paulin. And it would be the first time that Tommy Searle would not finish overall on the podium. But the checkered flag went out to Jeffrey Herlings. He won the race, he won the Grand Prix.
Daqui a pouco MX1 é o Mundial de Motocross aqui no Brasil.
MX1, race 1, and the two Monster Energy Yamahas of Steven Frossard and David Pilippaerts, they were up the inside, but it was Toni Cairoli in 2nd position behind the fast starting Carlos Campano. With Cairoli up front, the two Yamahas then battled. Frossard making a move on his teammate David Pilippaerts to go into 2nd position, and then eventually Frossard started to close down on Toni Cairoli. Clément de Salle, on the other hand, the championship leader, he made a poor start and was making inroads into the leading trio, who started to bunch up during the course of the race. Frossard was leading, with Cairoli closing. Eventually, Cairoli retook the lead, pushing Frossard back to 2nd, and Pilippaerts was there, lurking in 3rd position, just behind them. De Salle, eventually he passed the two Yamahas, got into 2nd, made a big mistake here, as he was within striking distance of Cairoli. But Cairoli, he was unaware of what was going on behind him, and the final few laps for him were a breeze. He won the first race. MX1, race 2, and once again the Yamahas up the inside, but a big crash involving Evgeny Bobryshev and the Brazilian Jorge Balbi left both riders wondering where they were. Bobryshev eventually rejoined the race. Up front though, the battle was on once again for the lead. Cairoli being overtaken by Clément de Salle. David Pilippaerts then found a way into 2nd position, pushing the Italian back to 3rd place. Then de Salle made a mistake in one of the tight corners, and that allowed David Pilippaerts through into the lead. Clément de Salle remounted in 5th position, and he challenged Steven Frossard, eventually going past the Frenchman, former championship leader, and that was for 4th. Steve Bremont eventually finished 3rd in the race, but was relatively unnoticed on that Rockstar Energy Suzuki. He was out there all by himself. But the battle continued up front between Cairoli and Pilippaerts, but it was Pilippaerts who won the race and the Grand Prix.